Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we got a video by Chibi Reviews, the greatest fear for anime fans. It has a Blue Lock cover, so I wanted to see what he has to say about Blue Lock. Let's just see what's going on. Let's go.
This is the greatest fear for any fan. Anyone that loves a series, to see their series dig itself a 6-foot hole, and upon digging, somehow it manages to find a cavern, and they fall into it, and it feels bottomless. And the expectations that are already at the bottom of the barrel somehow gets lower, lower, and lower. And it just... The current state of Blue Lock, just taking a look at this trailer that came out a few hours ago, I can't help but feel bad for the mega fans. I've said this already in a few videos.
Yeah, and as we know, recently Blue Lock has been going on a downward spiral with the animation. I don't know what's going on in this whole Blue Lock thing. It's terrible. You know, judging from this scene that he has on Twitter, it's going to be more and more disappointing animation, more cutscene animation, more slideshow animation. That's when you know a studio has run out of budget. Or if not run out of budget, they've just lost the passion for it. There's just a lot of mismanagement, a lot of things that just went bad for this studio.
As of late, I made a video 2 weeks ago talking about Uzumaki, and I briefly mentioned Blue Lock, and then a week later, which was a week ago, I talked about Blue Lock and how it's anime and its current state of its anime. And now a week has passed and more stuff has come out, and it's just like,
yeah,
I can't help but just feel so bad, because when I take a hard look at this show and like you look at these scenes, this is a trailer for one of the most important arcs, or the most hyped up arc for Blue Lock, you know, is finally getting adapted. And when I look at this trailer, it's nothing but PNGs. It's
and
literally a
slideshows.
PowerPoint presentation, and it's like the manga panels were colored, and it's just worse quality overall. Even the art quality is worse than the manga, and it's just like, what happened? How did this happen? And it's so soulless. It feels like it lacks a soul, and it's so crazy. It's like, you can feel that there is just so much production issues behind the scenes.
Yeah, no, there's not even production issues. It's just a huge overall mismanagement. I don't know if it's mismanagement or they placed their budgets into other things, and it's just very disappointing all in all. You know, Blue Lock for me was one of those animes where we finally got an anime for soccer. Now it's kind of reminding me of, I'm having flashbacks of The Promised Neverland season 2. I don't know what happens with some animes in season 2. Season 2 for a lot of animes are very pinnacle, because it's either they're going to go to the next level or they're going to go down. And I feel like Blue Lock is one of those where if it continues this whole season, it's like this, where we must just forget about the animation and just enjoy the story, then what's the point of even watching the animation? I can just go read the manga. So hopefully, there's no hopefully, we can see that, yeah, it's over, as this tweet says. It's over. It's done.
Feel there is just so much eternally going on behind the scenes. It's like management and the people on top has just straight up given up on the project of Blue Lock, and they don't care about it no more. They want to be done with it. That's literally what this looks like. That's how it feels as someone that watches this. And let's get into that. So basically, this is a trailer that came out a few hours ago at the time of me currently recording this, and this trailer pretty much shows exactly what we've been seeing for the past few episodes of Season 2. It's literally just a PowerPoint presentation. At first glance, when you look at it, if you haven't seen the manga, or this is your first time looking at it, the art quality could be a little bit misleading. The shading isn't necessarily bad. I mean, just nothing to write home about, but the shading isn't bad. The line art really isn't terrible or anything like that. It looks relatively okay for modern standards. But then when you actually see the movement, it's nothing but lip flaps, aka the mouth moving, and PNGs moving on screen. And then you have like Adobe Premiere effects being poured on a still frame image that is just paneling. It is legitimate.
That's what they've been doing this whole season. It's the effects on the screen, the moment-to-moment action, the moment-to-moment scenes of like the whole show. A lot of pandering, a lot of dialogue. A lot of shows, even the previous episode, I think episode 4, was also very disappointing. It just had a lot of moments where we could have seen a whole training arc. They skipped a lot of games, and they just got straight to the dialogue. It was just a lot of yap, 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 yap. But yeah, man, it's just very disappointing to see an anime like this just go down the drain, just like Uzumaki.
There's like barely or not even animation whatsoever in this show. And the only form of movement you really see actually when things are going on is just the ball that is CGI moving in frame. It is not good.
What a shame.
This trailer basically showcases the exact same thing that has been happening for the past few episodes that many fans of Blue Lock have been talking about.
For us anime fans, we thought a lot of the budget was going to go into this arc, the Japan versus the Blue Lock top 11. We thought all of the budget was going to go into here. But when we're seeing now, it shows that there was a clear scope of mismanagement. I think it was just a money grab. You know, everything was just a money grab. Everything was just a scheme. And also as well, the movie. I think the movie as well, what this animation studio did with that Nagi and Rio movie, I think that also really messed up the whole scheduling, especially for the anime series, because this is unacceptable.
And it's just like, dude, this is supposedly supposed to be the most anticipated and hyped up arc for Blue Lock. Fans have been talking about this for over a year, and to see this trailer, pretty much any expectation or any hope for Blue Lock to actually have any form of good quality adaptation has pretty much just dropped into a bottomless pit.
What a shame.
And I hate to see that, man. I hate that. I really hate that. I'm not gonna pretend to say I am a mega Blue Lock fan by any means. I'm not going to say that. I'm not gonna act like it.
I am a mega Blue Lock fan. I love soccer. Finally, we got the soccer anime that we all needed. Unique story, strikers. It's literally the perfect formula for what an anime should be about soccer. And they just dropped the ball. How do you drop the ball with the animation? It literally it kills the whole vibe, the whole series. It destroys it, because now there's no more expectations now, because we know that, oh, these people don't care, so why should I care, you know?
I'm not gonna act like I'm a current manga chapter reader. I'm not gonna do that. But as someone that loves manga, that loves anime, loves just stories, seeing a series that obviously has a lot of fans, a big fan base at that, and it garnered a lot of attention about a year and a half ago, and all that, and it came out at the right time where there really needed to be a good sports anime, thanks to Haikyuu kind of ending and all that, and, you know, people have been wanting something to really scratch that itch for a while. Seeing Blue Lock start off very strong and then dropping off so hard with Season 2, it's sad, man. And it makes a lot of sense why a lot of people are, you know, comparing it with the Seven Deadly Sins Season 3 or the Promised Neverland Season 2. Now, to be fair, there is definitely a lot worse adaptations out there in terms of, like, using a lot of messy CGI and also just cutting content out. There definitely could theoretically be a lot.
But man, it is terrible. There's no that it is definitely, we cannot start comparing it and saying that, oh, this is a lesser evil. It's bad. It's clear as day bad. When the reason why I'm saying the Promised Neverland was a good show. It really the best horror show before Uzumaki. It was the Promised Neverland. How do you drop the ball of having the best horror anime and then you just drop the ball because of animation? That is terrible.
Worse. But even then, the reason why this is becoming such a big topic and why so many people are discussing it, including myself, is because of the potential that Blue Lock had. It always had this potential to be very good and very popular. Like I said, potentially be the next Haikyuu or Kuroko no Basket. But to see its current state, any potential hopes of that is basically been squashed. It's not possible. There's just, I don't see any form of way for this series to redeem itself in the common anime watcher's eyes to want to stomach to sit around for a potential Season 3 if that indeed does happen. And so let's talk about that for a second. What's really going on here? Why does Blue Lock just look so bad right now? Let's talk about that.
Animation
so there was a
studio.
Reddit post that came out a few days ago, and I saw a lot of people kind of quote retweeting and retweeting this on Twitter as well, and then I even saw an article pop up about this, and apparently...
You know, I hate when studios do this. We did our best. We did our... No, man, if it's not to the standards of the consumer, there's no best, man.
An animator on TikTok, I don't know how creditable this is, but the information I do say, regardless if this isn't really an animator talking about it, It is believable because of previous circumstances within the anime industry. I'll talk about that in a second. But basically, this apparent animator that has worked on Blue Lock in 5 episodes of Blue Lock of that basically openly said that they did a lot of cuts, a lot of animation, etc. And when the finished project came out, apparently it was basically scratched out, and basically it didn't look like what it initially was.
So yeah, apparently the final show was apparently the director of the show decided most of the scenes and most of the cuts that were there, he just scratched it out. Because I think maybe it was because of time constraints, or he didn't like the animation styles that these producers made. So this guy, he did episode 2, 3, and 5. Imagine.
Now, I've seen some people kind of clarifying this on Twitter, and I'm not going to say that this is confirmed 100% what happened, but some people have said that the director or whatever, whoever's like in charge of the stuff and the storyboarding and all that, you know, effectively has dumbed down the look of the show to make it cohesive and very still framey because the production really can't keep up. And so more or less they just made it look really bad, or not trying to make it look bad, but making it look very limited, but for it can remain consistent for they can get the episodes out. Now, like I said, I don't know if this is true or not. This is like hearsay, so to speak. So
I think they should have done a Dead Man Wonderland, honestly. They should have done a whole Dead Man Wonderland. I don't know if you guys have ever watched Dead Man Wonderland. Basically, the first 9 episodes was top tier animation. Then the rest of the 12 episodes, the rest of the 5 episodes, it was just mediocre episodes. They dropped budget. They just had to push out the anime. I think they should have just done that, man. Even till today, Dead Man Wonderland is still spoken about. At least, you know, they must just capture a glimpse. I just think maybe they weren't able to fully sustain the whole animation and the time it takes to create an animation of how many episodes. Maybe this is a 12 to 20 episode anime. But yeah, it's just very disappointing seeing this, man. Very disappointing.
Take those words with a grain of salt. But let's get into what we do know, okay? One of the big things that we can definitely guess from the whole situation, even if this information and what people are talking about this animator and stuff, if it legit is true or not, we know deep down, no animator that's probably working on this show wants to work on a show that legitimately is awful. I don't think any animator truly going in, obviously there's probably case in points of people potentially doing this, but I feel like genuinely most animators, like 95-99% of animators that work on shows, they go in because they have a passion for animation. They have passion for anime, and they don't want to make a bad product. They don't. I legitimately think animators really want to give the best they possibly can.
Of course.
And so because of that, I don't believe that Blue Lock and the animators that are working on the show are maliciously trying to make the show just look like dog water or make the show just feel very soulless. I don't think that is the intention of the staff. I don't. Maybe not even the...
I'm saying mismanagement. It's a big fumble of mismanagement. We've seen it happen with Jujutsu Kaisen, one of the biggest shows, episode 19. That was, for some people are saying it's the greatest animation that they've ever seen. But for me, it's like, bro, there's just so many directions, especially from what they showed us from episode 1 to episode 19. It's night and day. Episode 1 looks like a masterpiece, whereas episode 19 looks atrocious. I don't know, man. You know, these animation studios, I have no idea what's happening in some of them.
I think what it really comes down to is just poor mismanagement of management itself and the production committee.
Exactly.
We have seen time and time again from multiple different shows over the years, decades even, where the production committee or the management that kind of hands down this stuff to different studios, etc., they force these studios to get stuff out and all that, or these, you know, publishers and all that, or producers, so to speak, to get the stuff out as quick as possible. Like, for instance, let's think of 86 and Aniplex and stuff. What happened there? You know, we have seen this to where production is forced out at a given time, and they don't care. They want it churned out like it's in a sweatshop. And I feel like Blue Lock is...
Guys, I don't think he understands when it comes to the whole sweatshop quote. I'm gonna disagree with him over there. Because for me, everything is about what the budget... Let's say an anime takes 6 months to make, right? For example, this is not a clear cut. So now we have 6 months in order for us to create an anime. So now you can imagine within that 6 months, there's a budget. Let's say 50,000. If it goes over the 6 months of that budget of 50,000, the budget is no more. It ended. So they have to now, within that time, crunch, do the most, do them like it's It's really complicated, man. We've seen this with a lot of shows, even TV shows, even in gaming. I don't know if you guys have been watching gaming lately. A lot of games end up like this. Cyberpunk 2077, for example, even though there can be a thousand, a million people, mismanagement, company organization structures, and it's complicated making animations, bro. It's very complicated.
Result of that management, more or less, they want this product out no matter what, and obviously the staff that's working on it was probably not given enough time, not many months to really work on it. And obviously, that is why we got the product we are currently getting. And I feel like whoever's in charge of maybe formatting the episodes, like the director or whatever, the reason why everything looks so limited is because obviously the time management, it's
terrible.
There's not enough time to work on everything, make everything look so amazing. So he's cutting things down and making it very limited for the episodes potentially to come out like they are, instead of having to fully delay the said show. Because most likely management and like the production committee and stuff, they might not want to delay the show, because we gotta look at some recent examples of shows. Like
Uzumaki.
Nier is a good one. Nier obviously started having a lot of production issues where people just couldn't keep up with it, and there was a lot of Aniplex shows that were having this problem, A1 as well. And we know that went on like indefinite hiatus for a while. Eventually it rebooted and came back and all that, and we know how that went. The point is that we have not seen that for Blue Lock, and it's very clear at this current time that Blue Lock is in desperate need of a break, like hiatus, so to speak, but it's not been given that. In fact, they released this trailer just a few hours ago, which implies...
I think the show's already done. I think when he's talking about a break, it's not gonna happen. That right there is he's wishing. It's done. I think the show has already been animated. They've paid the people which have already animated the show. It's done. So all we just have to do is get prepared for this lackluster animation. It's just cringe. Like, it's cringe across the board. It's disappointing, man. One of my favorite shows that I thought was gonna take soccer sports anime to the next level failed. Blew up right in front of our faces.
Is that they are not going to be putting the brakes to the show. They're going to continue pumping out the episodes regardless if the quality gets even worse than it currently is.
It's gonna.
Which is devastating to think about, not just for the staff, but also for the fans as well that really love Blue Lock. So the thing about this whole situation is I think management, more or less, and maybe the production committee, I don't speak for them, but I'm assuming they're more or less just looking at this. They're writing their hands off from the series. They're trying to squeeze as much as they can out of the stone before they move on to their next project and be done with it. I think that more or less they just don't care about Blue Lock anymore, and they don't care to give it enough time. They just want to move on to the next big thing. That's what I assume. At least as someone that consumes the anime, not someone that's like in the industry or whatever. That's just what it looks like to me. As someone that just knows how businesses operate and how businesses are very cutthroat and they want to make as much money as possible.
Exactly.
Maybe they just don't see any potential or possibility of money making from Blue Lock, and they want to move onward, so to speak. That's a possibility. Regardless, there is something I do want to point out.
You know, that's a shame, man. For him saying that these companies just want to wash their hands and clean it off and just be done with it. It's a shame, man. You know, sometimes, Blue Lock was one of those animes that shocked us and did the most. I just think they just took the money and ran. I think they got a budget for the movie. They took the budget for the movie and ran with it. They got a budget for a second season. They took a budget for the second season and ran with it. And this is how the show dies, They've gotten their money. So yeah, they're just going to produce shit. They didn't think season 1 was going to do well. And now they have a season 2. They're going to just take the money and run. That's how TV works. That's how shows work. At the end of the day, you must understand that an animation is still a show. It's an anime series is still in the context of a TV show. So it's media. Media is just very complicated, and there's a lot of crunch. There's a lot of bullshit that happens behind the scenes that we didn't really see with this show. I'm just praying, hopefully soon, like especially with shows that do anime adaptations and all of that, manga adaptations, we just need to see more refined animation. I'm just looking at a show like if Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon, season 5, that still has incredible animation. Arifureta season 3, incredible animation, even though there's a bit of fluff there and there. It still has incredible animation, way better than a simple show like Blue Lock. Disappointing.
That is, apparently Blue Lock's scenes from this trailer has like footage from the game. Now, I looked into this. I looked up the game of Blue Lock. Apparently, there's like a gacha game or something. I've never played it or anything or really seen anything from it. But apparently, like footage from this trailer, there is gameplay footage, actual footage from the game. And if that is indeed the case, I think that really just states enough just how pressed for time the show is behind the scenes. And that's basically a full-blown meltdown. Like, when you have to use gameplay...
Jesus. Is it that bad? Yeah, nah, it's bad, guys. It is bad. It is... What a catastrophe. What a catastrophe. That is a shame. What a shame. Honestly.
Footage to add into your trailer for the anime... It's not good, man. That's about as bad as it can get. But I'll leave it at that. I wanted to talk...
Yeah, man. What a catastrophe, bro. I mean, shows like this, you know, really indicate the state of some anime studios, some industries, you know. Making a TV show, an anime show, or a TV series is very difficult, you know. You guys gotta understand that a lot of things happen, and as well, it all goes down to the production and mismanagement side. We can't blame the animators because the animators are given a certain time to produce the show. It all falls down to the production team, the team, the managers, and the people like the producers, the directors. All of those people are at fault because there is a certain amount of schedule for these people to produce the anime. And then they I don't know what happens, bro. I have no idea what happened. Something bad just happened, and yeah, this is the result, you know. Disappointing. I don't think there's a Blue Lock season 3. Yeah, no. Season 3, we must just forget about it. We must just enjoy the season 2 and call it a day. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching my video. If you guys like this video, like and subscribe. Tell me what you guys think. What a disappointment from Blue Lock. Fuck Blue Lock, honestly.